What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the specs of the Samsung Galaxy S5 to the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So the Note 4 has just been announced today, and I've said this before, but for me the Samsung Galaxy Note series is almost like the Samsung Galaxy S series on steroids. So we've got the S5 this year, and it's like Samsung pump it up and give you a very high spec and feature packed device, and this time it is the Note 4. So how much better is the Note 4 compared to the Samsung Galaxy S5? Well, do hit that thumbs up button and let's find out in this head-to-head spec comparison. So let's kick off with the size, which is the most obvious difference between these two devices. The Note 4 comes in larger as expected, 11.5mm in height, 6.1mm in width, and it's also 0.4mm thicker. Now this is expected because the Note 4 is a phablet device. It has a 5.7-inch screen compared to the 5.1-inch screen on the Samsung Galaxy S5. So expectedly so, it is larger, but this is one of the signature features of the Samsung Galaxy Note series, having that larger screen, which is really useful for that entertainment experience as well as the multitasking abilities that this smartphone has. Now in terms of resolution, the Samsung Galaxy S5 has a full HD 1080p resolution, so that's 1920 by 1080, roughly about 432 ppi pixel density. There is also a Quad HD version available, but it's limited availability just to certain markets, and that one is not going to be readily available for most people. The Note 4 has a Quad HD display, so that's 2560 by 1440p. That works out to roughly about 515 ppi pixel density. So you've got a great improvement here. That Quad HD display, especially for that larger screen, is going to work out really well, and you're going to have some very crisp and clear images and text. Now not everything's going to be optimized on this straight away, because lots of apps and things are still going to be in 1080p, but in terms of images on your device as well as videos on your device and the general interface, it's going to be absolutely great here on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So it's great to see that we've got this Quad HD resolution. Now looking at the weight, the Note 4 also comes in heavier, 31 grams heavier, so not too much more heavier, but that also comes down to the build as well as the larger size. The Samsung Galaxy S5, you've got the perforated soft touch back, and it's full plastic, so even the sides are in plastic on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now this has a good feel to it. You can see that in my full review. It does feel quite comfortable and grippy in the hand, which is quite nice, but it is in no means premium because it is a full plastic build. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 improves on this, and you've got a metal frame here, so you do have a metal frame here. They've kept with a plastic back, so it's a textured finish on the back, and it is still plastic at the back, but that allows for a removable back, which gives you access to a removable battery as well as a micro SD card slot, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. So this is sort of a compromise that they're doing because they know a lot of users out there do want a more premium feeling device, so they have gone for that metal frame, but at the same time you still have that plastic back, so it's a sort of a halfway house. I think this is fine because to a lot of users, especially me, the expandable memory and the removable battery is a great advantage. The Samsung Galaxy S5 does have an advantage of its own here, and that's the fact that it's IP67 water and dust resistant, so you're not going to have any problems getting a bit of water onto this device. But the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 is not water and dust resistant, so that's something that a slight edge goes to the Samsung Galaxy S5. It's a balance here. What do you more prefer? Do you prefer more of a premium build, or do you prefer the water and dust resistance of the Samsung Galaxy S5? Now looking at the internals, this is where they really beef things up on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. So the Samsung Galaxy S5 has a quad-core Snapdragon 801 processor that's clocked at 2.5 GHz, very fast, one of the fastest devices that I've tested recently out there, so really fast and snappy. And the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 does improve on this, so you've got a Snapdragon 805 processor, and that's quad-core 2.7 GHz. So in terms of availability, this is definitely going to be one of the most powerful out there. And you've also got the Adreno 440 GPU, so once again another improvement here. As always, you're also going to get an octa-core version for certain markets, which is going to have two quad-core processors, but the Prime version is going to have the 2.7 GHz processor. And I've got no doubt about this, that the Samsung Galaxy Note is going to be super fast. It always has been, and with these specs you have to expect that. And in terms of RAM, you've got 3 GB of RAM on the Note 4. On the Samsung Galaxy S5 you've got 2 GB of RAM, so another improvement here. The 3 GB of RAM is not an improvement on the Note 3, but 3 3GB of RAM for a smartphone is absolutely great, and this is going to be really useful for the multitasking abilities that the Note 4 has. Now in terms of internal storage, the Samsung Galaxy S5 comes in either the 16 or 32GB versions. The 16GB version is the most widely available, so this is the one that you're going to be able to pick up most likely. The 32GB version will be a little bit more difficult to come by. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 is going to come in the 32GB version, so that's going to be straight off the bat. You're going to have 32GB on here, so you have a storage advantage on the Note 4 here compared to the S5. There may also be a 64GB version. This hasn't been fully confirmed as yet, but usually we do see two versions, a 32GB version as well as a 64GB version. In terms of expandable storage, both of these do have expandable storage. The S5, you've got microSD up to 128GB, which is absolutely great, so you can really expand that storage, have lots of images, video and media on your device. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4, they're saying you just have 64GB expandable storage, so microSD card, but only support for up to 64GB, not 128. Now moving on to the cameras, we've got some really interesting things here. Firstly, both of these have a 16MP rear-facing camera. The S5 has an absolutely great camera. You can see lots of tests against other devices on my channel. Do go ahead and check those videos out. It's one of the best rear-facing cameras that's out there at the moment. A very sharp detail, lots of great colors. The Note 4 has an improvement here. It has optical image stabilization. Now this is the first time that Samsung have had optical image stabilization on one of their smartphones, so this is really going to improve some of those low light shots, as well as give you more steady shots and reduce blur. So big advantage here on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. In terms of video, both of these film up to 4K, so that's 2160p. So on a smartphone, 4K video, absolutely great. But once again, the advantage of optical image stabilization is great here on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, because you're going to have a stable footage at 4K, which will probably make this one of the best rear-facing cameras in terms of 4K video. The Samsung Galaxy S5, you've got no stabilization. You don't even have digital stabilization at 4K, which is really a downside here, because the video quality is awesome, but unless you're going to be having it steady, then it can be very shaky. This should not be a problem on the Note 4. Now in terms of the front-facing camera, once again some great improvements that we've got on the Note 4. The S5 has a 2MP front-facing camera that's capable of filming 1080p HD. Now they've taken the selfie craze here very seriously, Samsung have, and with the Note 4 you've got some great improvements. Firstly, you've got a 3.7MP front-facing camera, and it's also improved in terms of low light, so 60% brighter photos. So if you are taking pictures of yourself, selfies in low light, that's going to be absolutely great. So that's advantage number one. The other thing that they've done is they've increased the angle of it, so it's a more wide angle lens as well. So from 77 you've got a 90-degree angle, so you're going to be able to fit in more people. So if you're taking Wi-Fi's, they're calling them Wi-Fi's, trust me, that's what they're calling them, where you've got group selfies, then you're going to be able to fit more people in. Everyone's seen the famous Oscars selfie, which was taken on the Note 3, and that went viral, the most retweeted tweet in history of Twitter. So clearly this is a big thing, and Samsung have definitely taken this on board. You've also got a wide angle selfie mode, which is going to be like a panorama, but with the front facing camera. That's going to let you take a 120-degree angle selfie, so a very wide selfie if you want to take a massive group selfie. So this is another advantage that the Note 4 has. You've also got the ability to set off the shutter by touching the heart rate monitor at the back of the device, so this should reduce shake as well. So they have really taken on all of these things on board to really improve the front facing camera experience. So definitely some awesome improvements here on the Note 4, and if you're a selfie taker, the Note 4 is a very good option by the looks of it. Now the operating systems, both of these have Android KitKat. The Note 4 is going to come out of the box with 4.4.4. The Samsung Galaxy S5 is currently on 4.4.2. You should have an update soon on here as well, but out of the box it comes with 4.4.2. And now both of these have TouchWiz, so you've got the TouchWiz UI, Samsung TouchWiz UI on top of this. It does offer some great features like multi-window, but it can be intrusive as well. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has improvements. You've got a more cleaner UI on here. You've got lots of transparency as well. And in terms of the additional features that come with both of these devices, firstly, the Samsung Galaxy S5 has a slight advantage because it has a USB 3 connector, whereas the Note 4 has a USB 2 connector. Now the USB 3 connector was initially introduced on the Note 3, so they've sort of taken a step back here with the USB 2 connector on here. This may be because of that frame, the metal frame. I'm not sure why they've done this, but on the Note 4 you only have a USB 2 connector. Now the other additional features, you've got a fingerprint scanner on both of these, so the home button is going to act as a fingerprint scanner. This is okay, it's not as good as the iPhone. I've said this before, because you have to swipe, so you have to be pretty accurate on here, so something to bear in mind. It's a useful feature for some, but it's not great. You have a heart rate monitor at the back of both devices, so for your health apps this is going to be absolutely great. If you are somebody into your health, then you are going to be able to measure your heart rate. Personally, I didn't find myself using it that much. Now the key thing on the Note 4, the key feature on the Note 4 is the fact that you've got the S Pen. Now this is something unique, and it really separates the Note from other devices in this category. And you've got some advanced features here. Firstly, you've got double the pressure sensitivity, so they've increased this, so it's going to be very, very accurate. You've also got improved features on Air Command. So firstly, you've got Smart Select, which is going to let you select lots of things across lots of different apps just by dragging and selecting and putting them all together in an email or something. Really, really useful feature here. You've got swipe to minimize, so you can swipe from a corner and it's going to minimize that window, which once again is a great thing with the Note devices, the multitasking abilities, so you're going to be able to open up lots of apps at the same time. Great feature here. You've got Snap Note. This is something new, so you're going to be able to take pictures of writing. So say it's something that you've written down on paper or on a board, you can take it from different angles as well. It's going to work this out, and it's going to turn it into digital text, which you can edit later on. Once again, an absolutely great feature. And you can also use the S Pen kind of like a mouse, so you can click to drag and select text, for example, in multiple areas. So they've really improved the S Pen. The S Pen was also already a great feature on the Note devices as it is, but they've taken this a step ahead and really made some improvements on here. Now looking at the batteries, the Samsung Galaxy S5 has a 2800 mAh battery, which is a great battery overall. I found that it got me through the day on most occasions without any problems, even with a medium to heavy use, and it's removable, so you can have a spare and you can charge it independently of the device, which is a great advantage. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has a 3220 mAh battery, and you have a Quad HD display on here, so you know, you'd think that it'd be taking up more battery, but they've said it's actually 7.5% more efficient compared to the Note 3. Now the Note series has always been very good on battery life because of that huge size, so I've got no doubt that the Note 4 is going to be great on battery life as the other Note devices have been. But one key advantage that you've got in the Note 4 is that you've got fast charging, so you can go from 0 to 50% in roughly about 30 minutes, so that's absolutely great. So if you really need that charge, you can just plug it in and you're going to be on 50% within 30 minutes. So that's a huge advantage. This is something that we saw something similar to on the Oppo Find 7, so you've got that fast charging ability on here on the Note 4, which is absolutely great. Now finally, looking at the price, the Samsung Galaxy S5, right now you can pick it up for roughly about £450 in the UK, around about $600 in the US. Now this is off contract, just to see the value of the device. The Note 4, there's no confirmed pricing as yet, but generally speaking, based on the previous versions, you're going to be looking at between £600 to £650 in the UK, around about $700 to $750 on a release. So this is going to be the rough pricing. This is going to be off contract, just to give you an idea of what to expect. And they've said it's going to have an October release. We've not got any specifics as yet, but next month you should be able to get your hands on the Note 4. So there we have it, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, packed with a bunch of features as we were expecting, but it's absolutely great to see that we've got some really good improvements here. The Quad HD display, the improved camera, it's great to see that we've got optical image stabilization. The front facing camera has had massive improvements compared to lots of other devices out there. The front facing camera is something that's sort of left as secondary, so Samsung have really taken this on board, and the fast charging is absolutely great too. I've got no doubt that this is going to be one of the best devices of 2014, as the Note 3 was one of the best devices of 2013. What do you think of the Note 4? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Will you be getting it? Do you think it's a little bit too on the larger side, so you prefer something like the Samsung Galaxy S5? Do share your thoughts, it'd be great to hear. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out, and we'll be getting the Note 4 in for review when it is out, so be sure you are subscribed for that. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below. you're still watching, then that means you've not done one of those things. So, you know, yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna go downstairs. See. Okay. There isn't really a downstairs. Anyway, so yeah.